Hi everyone, my name is Beck Arnold, and today we'll be talking about what I thought of 1984 by George Orwell. First of all, Animal Farm is better. Definitely not the movie, but the book I think is way better because it has a more compelling plot and it's a brilliant allegory, even though it's the more simple one. However, 1984 has a very clear message and it made that message very well. Therefore, for that reason alone, I think it's necessary to read this book in the modern world. It's not the kind of book you read for fun. In fact, I thought it was rather depressing actually, but it conveys its point in a very important way. Another thought I had is that Julia totally works for the thought police. That's a controversial opinion, but I was kind of thinking in the book, oh, she's not that. So there's something wrong with this character. And in the end, there's a afterword by Eric Fromm, and he mentioned that concept. I was like, that's what it is. She totally works for the thought police. So I think she does, but drop in the comments below what you think about that. And then there's a machine that makes music. It's AI. There's AI in this book. This book was made long before that, but I think that's his best prophecy, actually. It's actually kind of an interesting form of prophecy. It's not really like the book of Daniel or something where it's prophesying future events. He's kind of is because it's called 1984, and this was in 1949, but none of that stuff happened in 1984, and he didn't want it to. He wanted to publish his book, people would read it, and they would change their minds, because at the time, there was a labor socialist government, kind of like what they have right now in the UK, but that was implementing these policies, which he did not like. And by publishing this book, he helped influence people to not support socialism, but support freedom. For that reason alone, I think it's an important book to read. And then there's large-scale spying in the book, which is definitely relevant today because chances are you're being spied on right now. So in the era of mass surveillance, I think this book is extremely important because it points at the dangers of that. So would I recommend you read it? Absolutely. I think it's a very important book. I think it makes some very important points. I think in our modern era of AI and government spying on you, I think this book is very important, and I think all modern people should read it.